to talk about healing back pain for good, but also living a fulfilled life through implementing 10 daily holistic healing habits. We are in a kind of why period where I answer why this particular habit is one of the 10 daily holistic healing habits. And we are talking about the fifth of the 10 daily holistic healing habits, and it is be in contact with your true self or the highest consciousness. Why is that one of the 10? Well, first of all, we have everyone, almost everyone at least. There are just a few masters that have managed to get rid of the ego. But we have an ego that is a part of our mind, at, and it is taught from other people. It is only concerned in the body's survival. It is concerned about moving away from fear and towards pleasure the fastest way. It is thinking about the body and what what would be good for us in short term, not long term at all. It is also focused on either commenting on others so we feel a little bit better about ourselves, or it is focused on commenting us so we feel less than others. It is never satisfied. It always wants us to have more, do more, and be more. Um, it is there we hear all our limiting beliefs. And in order to, first of all, kind of stop believing in what the ego tells us is true about us or others, we have to begin to listen to another voice inside our minds. And another voice that is always supportive, always loving, always focused on love and the best outcome for everyone involved. The ego is always focusing on the best, what it thinks is the best outcome for us, not anyone else. No. And we if the ego can convince us that we are superior, it will. And if the ego can't convince us to that, it will definitely tell us all the reasons why we are less than everyone else, less fortunate, less intelligent, less loving, less than anyone else. So, listening to the ego and trying to satisfy the ego will never help us to live a fulfilled life, and it will certainly not help us to heal for good. The best thing with listening to be in contact with either our true self or the highest consciousness is that we get another voice to hear, another voice that is interested in everyone involved's best. So, and this, I could hear the highest consciousness speak to me directly, but that is something I really dreamt of. It's also something that I've trained to do. First, I couldn't do that. I just could write uh, down. I asked questions in writing and I got the answers in writing too. Then I thought it would be better if I could do it like this. I could ask questions and get the answer immediately, and especially live, because if you ask me questions live, then I could answer that immediately. So that is something that I've practiced. And I really recommend you trying either just being still, positive, asking for answers to a certain question. And don't be fixed on the result. You could either try writing down questions and you might get an answer back in writing, or you could ask questions in your head, in your mind, and you could be receiving answers like that also. But to begin with, you should not be that focused on how you're going to feel that you're in contact with the highest consciousness or your true self. It's more like the feeling. When you begin to feel, when you're still and asking, I usually say, thank you, highest consciousness, for helping me to experience complete inner peace. And it never fails. But if I'm too stressed out, then the ego convinces me to not ask for help. It's no point in it anyway. I don't even ask. So I am not 100% living this yet myself either. So you should not be too harsh on yourself. But ask the highest consciousness or your true self about a feeling, because a feeling is easier to experience, or a thought or a solution for something. It's easier to, because we have limiting beliefs around this. And Conversation with God books with Nidana Walsh, he was really brave when he told everyone about that. But it has meant the world for thousands and millions of people all around the world that have read his books. So, but we still have limiting beliefs that, well, that's him. I can't do that. I can't do that. But everyone has the capability. It just is, it's like a muscle. First of all, you should want something. There is a wanting. Then, what is the wanting? What do you want? Then, what is the thing I could ask for right now that will help me right now? And then be focused not on the outcome, but that you will have some kind of result. It doesn't have to be even in that moment when you're sitting there and relaxing, but you have to block out time to be able to receive answers to whatever question you're having. That is really important. Um, and in the present moment, the ego don't know what to do. The ego is focused on either talking about things in the past or things that might happen in the future. So be fully present in the moment. The ego becomes quiet. It doesn't know what to do. Then you will be having a lot bigger chance to be able to receive any. any evidence of being in contact with the highest consciousness, and be focused on feeling unconditional love and inner peace and relief, and ask for help. As the highest consciousness has said so many times, they can't help fully unless we ask, because our free will is sacred. And we cannot just keep listening to the ego if we want to either heal for good or live fulfilled lives. That is impossible, because the ego will never be satisfied, no matter how you follow, or what you follow, or what you do or don't do, say or don't say, and etc. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I think you know that by now. So don't have an expectation about what it would be like to be in contact and to feel in contact with the highest consciousness or your true self. Leave that out of the equation. Just be focusing on that you want to feel that you are connected, that you want to experience that you are connected, you want to have answers, and then just block out time, be still every day, and be focusing on some kind of evidence and ask for help. If we are not listening to the highest consciousness or our true selves, then we will listen to the ego. And or that is going to make us even more miserable. I think that this is one of the most important habits for me, at least. Because when I don't, a day without feeling that I am in contact with the highest consciousness is a day that I don't feel as whole, loving, and joyful as I do when I feel that I am in contact with the highest consciousness. And the day after, it's not very fun at all, because then I listen more to the ego and I will feel worse. And if I still don't go inside and ask for help and be in contact with the true self or the highest consciousness, and the downward spiral will begin. Then it's not fun anymore. Not at all. Okay? See you tomorrow. Until then, much love and blessings. Bye.